guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here with a very hopefully helpful video for those of you who travel with kiddos. These are my tried and tested top 10 tips to help ensure you will not only have happy kids at Disney, but well behaved. And I know you guys are thinking, well, I'm taking my kids to Disney. Of course they're gonna be happy. Not always the case. You kind of have to think of things like being too tired or having a meltdown because of too much stimulation or perhaps too much sugar or just, they're kids. And I think the thing you need to remember is kids are kids, whether they are at Disney or whether they are at home. So you need to remember that the kids you have at home with their kind of pluses and minuses about their personality are the same kids you are taking to Disney. So again, these are my top 10 tips to help ensure that you are gonna all have a happy, healthy family vacation all together. Again, some of these tips might not necessarily pertain to you, but hopefully it sets off a little light bulb that helps you plan for what can be the best and most magical trip for your family. So let's get into it. First, I want to say that happy kids at Disney are not created because you spoiled them. They're not created because you gave them all the sugar and you gave them all the souvenirs. Happy kids are just like the kids at home, right? So to make them happy and to make them, well behaved, you have to think of these things. So again, let's get started. First thing on my list is sleep. I know you guys agree with me. Sleep is important. Sleep is very, very important, especially to kiddos. But I think a lot of people don't realize how certain things regarding your activities or even your hotel room will affect sleep. So I'm here to tell you sleep is very much important. So when you pick out your hotel room, try to consider, okay, where is everyone gonna sleep? Who's gonna sleep with who? And is this a good idea? Do I need a bigger hotel room? Do I maybe need a second hotel room? These are the things you need to really consider. Some kiddos aren't really used to sleeping with their sibling, or they're not used to sleeping with their, say, snoring father. So these, again, are things to kind of think about. Also, the bathroom. There are so many resorts at Disney, mostly the values and the moderates, where the bathroom is only separated by like a sliding door, which means anyone who goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night could potentially wake up the entire family by just sliding that door. Not to mention when you turn on the light, if that door isn't shut all the way, guess what? That light just woke you guys up. For some people, that's not an issue. Put a pillow over your head and you keep sleeping. But for some kiddos, being woken up, that means they're done. They're up. Is it time to go to Disney yet? I don't care that it's 2 a.m. Let's go meet Mickey Mouse. So these are the things you have to consider. Also consider packing things that will help ensure your kiddo sleeps. Things like sound machines. This is our sound machine. It's DOHM. We pack it for every trip, even though my kids are older and they still use this at home. Other things are babies. If they're used to sleeping with a favorite stuffy, please pack that stuffy because it just helps ensure better sleeping. Same thing with pillows. If they're used to going out and sleeping on a certain pillow, don't forget to pack that particular pillow. Sleep is so important. So just assuming the hotel is just there for you to sleep in is not always the case. Sometimes there's more things to consider in your hotel room, which brings me to number 2. Number 2 is transportation. I can't tell you how hard it is to be a little kiddo and being told, oh my gosh, guys, we're gonna go to Disney. We're going to Disney right now. We're leaving the hotel room right now. And then they realize they have to wait at a bus stop for 20 to 30 minutes. Then they realize the bus ride is 20 to 30 minutes. Then they realize they have to go through security and all these things, and they're not actually gonna see the castle for a good hour. Just things to kind of pay attention to. So forking over a few extra dollars so that you can stay at a resort with really amazing transportation is huge, especially for families with littles. I'm talking about resorts on the Skyliner. Resorts on the monorail are indeed my favorite, but even resorts like Yacht Club where you can actually walk to 2 out of the 4 parks, any way to cut down on transportation is just a big plus. Same thing for people who drive. A lot of people are like, well, I'm going to stay off property. Okay, you should probably research your transportation options and how long it's really going to get you from that hotel to the theme park by the time you wait in that super duper long line and you actually park and you walk to the front gate. These are just things that matter when you're a kiddo. So I'm just telling you guys to consider those things as well. Next thing is healthy food. So I know most of your parents are thinking, well, yeah, I'm going to feed my kid healthy food. We feed them healthy food at home. Of course, we're going to feed them healthy food at Disney. Great. But I can tell you it's very difficult to ensure your kiddo gets all those healthy foods when Disney is filled with sugary treats. Sugary treats everywhere. In fact, most kids' meals do also include a dessert. So having that kind of talk with your kiddo now about how I know you're a dessert and I know your meal includes ice cream, but we're not really going to eat that yet until you finish your entree. Other things that are really, really important is to equal out the sweets, right? So my kids know they're allowed maybe 1, maybe 2 sweets a day. In other words, we're not eating 50 Dole Whips in one day. If we had a really big dessert with dinner, we are not going to go an hour later and get a Dole Whip. We kind of have to mix and match and equal it just a little bit in relation to everything else we ate that day. So just something to consider is to try to encourage that healthy eating so that you can make more room for the sweets and treats, because believe me, there's plenty of them. And when your kids see them, that is what they are gonna want. Next thing on the list is a schedule. I am not saying for you to have a schedule, meaning we're going to Magic Kingdom at this time and we're gonna ride this ride at this time and we're gonna do this at this time. Not that. I'm talking about keeping the schedule your kids have at home and applying it to the schedule you will keep at Disney. Meaning, if your kids are in school and they are used to eating at 11:30, then maybe you should have lunch at 11:30. When your kids are at home because of soccer practice and ballet, dance, and whatever they got going on, if your kids are used to eating at 5 o'clock, then I suggest maybe you keep that time frame. Because kids, without really knowing it, are kind of on a schedule, just like you. I know my husband is like this. He goes to work every single day. If he doesn't get breakfast by a certain time, he's hangry. He is used to eating lunch at a certain time and he's used to eating dinner at a certain time because those times he's allowed to eat at work have, maintained a schedule within his body. This also applies to things like naps and sleep. I can't tell you how important it is to keep those kids on some form of schedule so they can sleep. If your kiddo is used to going to bed at 8 p.m., granted, when they get to Disney, they might start getting pretty cranky and tired at 8 p.m. Even if there's a fireworks show that's going on 2 hours later. You kind of have to have that discussion with your kiddo and maybe think about, okay, well, maybe one night we can stay up late to watch the fireworks so that we can ensure the rest of the vacation you will getting your proper amount of sleep. I can tell you right now, my son definitely crashes by 8 p.m. He just does. His body just poops out, and as much as he might want to see fireworks or some really cool show, his body really can't handle it. So what we usually do will be he gets to get one show that maybe we stay up for that one night versus staying up the entire week. Or maybe right now Epcot opens at 11. Maybe if you plan ahead, you can schedule your one Magic Kingdom day with the fireworks the day before you go to Epcot so you know you can sleep in. All I'm saying is try to keep that schedule you guys do at home. Try to keep that same schedule as much as you can at Disney. Your kiddos are used to it. Just try to go with the flow with that schedule. Next thing is entertainment. So I know it seems kind of weird, but think and plan ahead. If you are going to pack your kiddo a tablet, go ahead and make sure you pack those backup batteries. Make sure you put a bunch of apps and games on that tablet. Now, I know a bunch of you are thinking, Nina, I'm taking my kids to Disney. They don't need a tablet. This is not device season. And you're right, your kids are at Disney, they don't really need a tablet, but there's certain situations where you are gonna wish you had some form of entertainment. Think about long lines. Some of the lines can get really long. Being able to hand your kid your cell phone or a tablet can be a huge plus, but so can dining. Sometimes dining takes a while, and rather than having a kiddo who's in and out of their seat and rolling around on the bench and doing all these crazy things, you can give them a tablet so that you and the hubby or whoever, you guys can have a semi-decent conversation because your kiddo is entertained. No one is gonna look at you sideways because your kid has a tablet at Disney. I am telling you, this is common. And if you truly wanna be device-free, then pack them some sort of highlights magazine or puzzle game or coloring book or something to entertain them in those kind of long wait periods. There are several people who will play like a game system on their phone, and you'll actually see them kind of asking each other trivia questions. Those are good options as well. So just make sure you think about ways to entertain those kiddos. Next thing on the list is breaks. Don't forget to take a break. If kiddos are used to taking a break or kind of have some downtime, make sure you work that in your plans. Don't be so go, 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 because I promise you your kiddo is gonna poop out early. And this doesn't mean you have to leave the park and go break in your room, although that is a great option for many days. But I'm talking simply as much as go sit on a bench, go to a quiet part of the park and relax. I'm talking about possibly getting a mental break, and maybe this is a great time to go see a show or do a long ride where the kiddo can kind of sit there and just kind of breathe and relax. This is usually the point of time when my kids would ride the Walt Disney World Railroad, or if Animal Kingdom, we could go on the Wildlife Express. Being on a train was always a good way to kind of sometimes rock them to sleep a little bit, but also give them kind of that break period, a chance to kind of chill. Now, maybe you have kiddos with so much energy. I do. Maybe they need a break from just standing still or sitting still. Go send them to Tom Sawyer's Island. In fact, I have a whole video on Tom Sawyer's Island over at Magic Kingdom. There's other areas of the park too where you can kind of let them loose and get rid of all that nervous energy. It is really hard for a kiddo to stand still and sit still. And for many kiddos, it's really hard to behave all day long. They need that kind of like chance to kind of express and move and all those great things. So make sure you research those areas of the park and kind of build them into your itinerary versus the constant go, 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 go. It's a thought, guys. Next thing on the list, and I say this all the time, is water and snacks. Absolutely 100% pack your kids water. And please make them drink the water. Ensure they get lots and lots and lots of water. And with the same respects, you also want to pack them snacks. Healthy snacks, maybe healthy granola bars and things like that, because I can't tell you what's going to happen when you get into a line and guess who all of a sudden is hungry? Yep, the kiddo. You could have eaten a half an hour earlier, but as soon as you get in that line, I'm hungry. Mom, I'm hungry. Do you have a snack? This is when you want to whip out the healthy granola bar or whatever you got that you have packed. Eating in line when the kiddos is hungry is just a great opportunity to give them something healthy, because you really can't leave that said line to go find them popcorn or whatever. Plus, most of those things you could find them at the kiosks aren't really that healthy, although there are some healthy kiosks where you can get a bunch of fruit, veggies, and things like that. In fact, maybe if you buy one of those ahead of time, get a banana or an apple, slip it in your backpack, because when you're in the middle of a long line and the kiddo's hungry, that's when you can hand them that apple. So don't forget water, 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 and healthy snacks. Next thing on the list is planning. So I really find it important to get your kids involved in the planning. Hey, what resort could you be interested in? Any restaurants you want to try, or rides? What kind of rides are you interested in? If we go to Disney, what would you want to do? Now, I know many of you like to plan surprise trips. I am one of those people. I am loving of the surprise vacation, guys. So what you can do is you can wait till you've actually arrived to Disney and go through the park map together. Park maps are everywhere. They're in every park. You can get them at all the resorts. Sit down with a Sharpie or a highlighter and talk about what your game plan is for the next day. Get your kiddos involved. If your kiddos are involved, they most likely will be better behaved because they were part of it. They're excited for what the day is going to hold because they helped you pick it out. So if you can, guys, try to get your kiddos involved with some form of the planning. Next thing is to consider strollers. Now, I have a whole video specifically on strollers, but I find a lot of parents are like, well, my kid is X age. They are way too old for a stroller. I'm not bringing a stroller. Or my kiddo doesn't use a stroller at home. Why would they use a stroller at Disney? Well, you have to imagine, how long is your vacation? A week? Okay, so that's at least 5 or 6 park days. How long are you gonna be in the park? A good chunk of the day? Okay. Try to imagine little kids, little legs walking for miles and miles and miles, most likely in the heat, in the sun, on concrete. It is so convenient when you have a cranky child to just say, go sit in your stroller. Go sit in your stroller, drink some water, have a granola bar, calm down. These are the things you have to think about. So if you have one of those kiddos kind of on the cusp age, consider packing them a stroller, even if they don't use it at home. Another thing is, please don't forget fans for the kiddos. If it's hot out and you're using a fan, please don't forget them. Kiddos get hot too, especially if they're running around like crazy. The water and the fan, great ideas, guys. Don't forget sunglasses and other things that you can use to kind of prevent them from feeling the heat, because heat kind of equals cranky, right? So if you're a kiddo who didn't really sleep well, maybe you were super excited and you just ate a bunch of sugar and it's hot out, that kind of equals, I don't know, a recipe for almost disaster. So you kind of want to think of these things to ensure not only are you going to have a healthy and happy kid, but perhaps a well-behaved child. Which leaves me to number 10. Number 10 is to practice. To practice, practice, practice. Okay, Nina, what do you mean? It's not like I can practice going to Disney. You kind of can. So knowing you're going to be at Disney in the heat, knowing you're going to be at Disney and you're going to be walking for miles and miles and miles, now is the time to train your kiddo. Get outside, go for walks in the neighborhood, practice walking long distance with your kiddos, practice eating healthy food. If your kiddo isn't really used to eating all those healthy foods, practice now. Go to the grocery store with your kiddos and show them all the granola bars and ask them, which granola bar would you want to eat if we were going to Disney? I seriously do this with my kids. I get them involved. That way when we're there, it's like, well, you picked it out. You picked it out, you're going to eat it, right? And also, I think a big part of it is, at least for my family, my kids don't sleep with us. They never have. They have always slept in their own rooms. So our first few trips when we were staying at a hotel, it was weird to them to sleep in a room with us. I mean, it was exciting, but it's weird because all of a sudden they're hearing dad snoring, and all of a sudden the person they're sleeping with, whether it was mom or dad or sibling, is kicking them and rolling over in their bed. And so if these kind of things are new to your kiddo, practice at home. Have a slumber party in the living room. Practice sleeping next to your kid so that when it gets to the hotel room, they are used to it. If your kid doesn't have a sound machine at home, but you want to bring one on vacation, test it out now. Use it now at home so they can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. So any really way you can practice certain segments of your trip, absolutely do so. Anything between the stroller, sleeping in the same room, sound machines, healthy snacks, staying up late is a good thing you can practice. Hey, we're gonna stay up a little later tonight and see how well that kiddo then deals with the next day. Again, these are good ideas for people who this is a first time, you know, you haven't really been anywhere. You're not really sure what your kiddo is going to be like and how they're going to behave. And I will say, because many of you are probably thinking, Nina, this was not an issue for my kids. My kids are amazing. My kids can stay up late every night, watch the fireworks every day, go to bed, wake up the next day at 8 o'clock and go to the park the next day. Great. I am excited that you have awesome kids that can do that. Not every kid is built the same. We all are very much different. Our kiddos are different. So know your kiddo, know what their buttons are and what they can and can't do, and focus and work on that. So just remember that the kids you have at home are the kids you are taking to Disney. Do not assume just because your kid is at Disney that they aren't going to get tired, that they're not going to get cranky, that they're not going to get hangry, or they're not going to have a meltdown. You as the parent needs to kind of plan and prepare for that. But also remember who is in control, because I witness a lot of kind of family dynamics at Disney where the kid is literally running the show. And the parents thinking, well, we're at Disney. Disney's for the kids. Let's let the kids do whatever they want. I can tell you behind closed doors that kiddo probably drove those parents crazy. So just remember, give your kids a little flexibility, but remember, guys, you are the parent. And you know, it's kind of like when we're at Disney, I kind of think happy kids, happy life, right? So as long as my kids are kind of happy and they have all those things taken care of, they slept well, they're eating healthy food, they're still on their schedule, that to me kind of ensures my kids will be happy at Disney as well. And let's be honest, guys, when your kid is having a meltdown, is the family happy about it? No. If one member of the family goes down, we kind of all go down with that member. So we all have to remember to do our best and behave our best, and you know, we can all have a great family vacation together. So I hope this helped you guys out. Don't forget, I do have a video specifically on things you can pack for your kiddo to help ensure a happy, healthy vacation, as well as my stroller video and all sorts of other videos. But hopefully this gave you guys a few points to kind of think about and consider when planning your Disney vacation, because again, no one wants a cranky kiddo. And I will say, between you and me, some of these are good things to remember for the adults too. I used to have a blog and I would mention quite a few times that my husband, sorry hubby, throwing you under the bus a little bit, can get pretty cranky at Disney. He was not raised Disney. This is not what he was born and bred to do. And certain parts of the trip, he can easily kind of get cranky. So we have to remember that moms and dads need their sleep too. Moms and dads are on schedules too. So we all have to figure out how we can work together to have an awesome family vacation at Disney. So again, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video, and let me know. If you're a parent, what other things do you think would be good to help ensure that your kids have a happy vacation, but also a well-behaved vacation? I am really curious. I've been using these tips for a really, really long time, but I'm pretty sure there's more out there. So parents, let me know. What other ideas do you have to help ensure those kiddos are just the best kiddos they can be at Disney? But as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina out. Bye.